Whisper secrets dark and brave, eyes that pierce into the night. Monsters come, we must fight. Candles flicker, casting dread. Ghostly wails fill my chasing demons lost in time. Sanity a steep climb. Off with his head, she screamed. Blood moon's eerie gleam. Battle cries through the dark, leaving fear's deep mark. Echoes of sins long past, fighting shadows deep and vast. Blood-stained blade in hand, stand your ground, make a stand. Cursed whispers fill the air, spirits cry, beware, beware. Through the fog and through the flame, monsters here know my name. Off with his head, she screamed. Blood moon's eerie gleam. Battle cries through the dark, leaving fear's deep mark. Off with his head, she screamed. Blood moon's eerie gleam. Battle cries through the dark, leaving fear's deep mark. Echoes of sins long past, fighting shadows deep and vast. Bloodstained blade in hand, stand your ground, make a stand. Curse whispers fill the air, spirits cry, beware, beware. Through the fog and through the flame, monsters here know my name. Silent screams, hearts fog and through the flame, monsters here know my name. Silent screams, hearts.
All right, good morning, everyone. Everything should be starting up in just a moment. All right, it looks like stream is coming through. So, thank you everybody for joining me again. I appreciate it. Today, like before, we're going to be playing Dragon Warrior 7, and theoretically, today we'll actually get to fight something. So give me one moment. I am messing with my volume control now. If y'all can or can't hear me, or if something feels off, say something in chat, and I will mess with it. Otherwise, welcome to our second episode of Bitey's Breaks. So, to catch us up from last time, we started playing Dragon Warrior 7. We play as the main character, Hero, the little dude in dude, who is basically your standard JRPG protagonist from the era. The strong silent type, doesn't have any words, blah blah blah. With him is his buddy Kiefer, who is the prince of the little island they live on. Now, for those of you that have never played this game before or missed last episode, basically, when the game opens, generations ago, the Demon Lord fought God and God lost. God was killed. The Demon Lord wiped out every other continent, every other island in the world. The little kingdom of Esther on one little island is all that's left. And nobody knows that. So, as you play the game, what happens is you find these different tablets, you bring them here to the shrine. Let me click on one just as an example. So you see with this shrine, everything, I don't know why I'm motioning in real life, I gotta get used to that. Anyway, you've got one shard in there and then blank space. As you play throughout the game, you're gonna find shards, you slot them into these pedestals. Once each pedestal's tablet is complete, it will open up a portal to that island in the past, where you basically have to solve whatever done fucked up. Yeah. Alright, excuse me. So, last time, we found all but one of the tablets for the first area, which is in the land room. Now, while the game doesn't explicitly tell you, it's one of those things that you discover if you if you wander around. This room, A, functions as a map room. You'll see our island here in the center. You can even kind of pick out some geographic features. For instance, down here is the forest where that little hermit's hut is. That white line in the center is the mountain range, blah, blah, blah. You'll see these 4 temples here, and only one of them has a flame. Now, the game doesn't explicitly tell you. Let's go ahead and do that now. But if you go inside, walk into the swirls, because it's a JRPG, swirls are always good. Right, I'm not gonna lie, when I was a kid and playing this for the first time, I did too. But that is a portal, and we are now in a cave that Kiefer and the hero recognize. Now remember this, because later on in the game, way later, see the swirling rainbow shit here? This is where you get the rainbow dew. You're given clues about it being in a cave, but it's a big world. So, for now, we're going to exit. Do, 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 do. This is another flaw in the design philosophy of Dragon Warrior 7. Again, while I absolutely love this game, it is my favorite of the Dragon Quest Dragon Warrior series, you can accept the flaws in a game. And hopefully we can learn from them. And as a game designer, that's my goal. But you'll notice, holy crap, it's already morning, blah, blah, blah. But you'll notice these are the ruins just above our hometown. So rather than having to go through that whole puzzle again, now, because yeah, right over here is that sage statue. So now we can just leave. And now whenever we have to get back to the shrine room, it's a straight shot. It could have been a little better done, but it's there, and that's the important part. It's something we can learn from. So now let's go back to our hometown. And you'll notice everyone else has made it home, including, hey, now there's fish and shit. So, Borcano, your dad, told him to go further north than usual, which we talked to him about. He had a gut instinct that there was something there. And they had a huge haul. So that's good. And if we go to the boat, they said they caught something strange with the haul. Borcano took it with him. And he's not on the boat right now. right, someone wants to make love to the sea. Takes all kind in a Akira Toriyama game. But let's go home. Let's talk to our dad. Ah, guahaha. Yeah, whatever, dude. So, this was one of the best fish. Now, I don't know if this is a translation error or if it's just Toriyama being Toriyama. We haven't had a year this good since you were born. That was more than 10 years ago. It was 17 years ago. The main character is 17. Technically, 17 is, and this is true, more than 10. Technically, that's a true statement. However, yes, you were born in 5 months rather than 9. You're definitely not a child of prophecy. All right, underage drinking. Since when? Since math, actually. I know math is overrated, however. All right, so here is something, it's a minor thing. You'll notice the drunken brother is there. Yeah, consistent logic system is overrated. But when we try to leave, Hondora's going to come over pissed at us. Now, we can in fact lie to him. If we do, he will punch us, and for the next area, we'll have 2 less hit points. Now, that's not a lot. But let's go ahead and give it back to the drunkard. We will need to get it back eventually, but for now, let him have it. So, we got our next quest. We need to go to the castle. Do, 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 do. Now, when this game came out, it was criticized for how slow the beginning was. Again, we haven't even reached any enemies yet. But, we've got you. The game was criticized for how slow it was, and rightfully so. Our character is a shit liar. Well, that's because he's a hero, and heroes don't lie. That's something bad. Yeah. Instead, heroes give ancient sacred texts to old men who read them while looking at porn. Yeah. Ah, where was it? The kid. So, the reason why he says that, if you talk to the kid before you do the steal the hot stone scene with Hondora, talk to the kid and he's crying, wah, Hondora stole my candy. Your drunk uncle, who uses his underage nephew as a wingman and makes him buy his drinks, also literally steals candy from babies. Just an upstanding citizen. And now, here comes the totally not girlfriend. Yeah, you can come along. There's no point in arguing. So I do want to check something because I don't remember once the music stops and it lets me. Life Acorn. Okay. As you play through the game, you're going to get a bunch of stat seeds. Life Acorn, Defense Seed, etc. that increase your stats. In the initial portion of the game, never give them to Kiefer, and very, very rarely, if ever, give them to Maribel. Here's why. Spoiler alert, Kiefer leaves the party eventually. I won't go into it, but he leaves your party and leaves the game. Maribel leaves the game for about 2/3 of it. Going off memory, that may not be exactly right, but she's gone for a substantial part of the game. She does eventually come back, but Kiefer doesn't. So there's no point in min-maxing characters that won't be there. Due to the class system, and because your hero, your main character, is your standard well-rounded character, you can push him in any direction you want. But we are now back here. We've got our land shard. Let's go to our first pedestal. What do you think will happen? Awesome stuff. Just the best. Yay, glowing light. What could possibly go wrong? I love how Maribel's like, ah, and Kiefer's like, yeah. Never trust princes, boys and girls. That's the important moral lesson there. So, we are going to wake up here. Random woods. This does not look familiar at all. Kiefer randomly talking about himself in the third person, because, you know, he's a prince and they do that. Alright, y'all alright? Yeah, we're good. Well, she's not, but... Alright. And it's hard to see, but the game does have the tint on to simulate a very dark sky. So, again, spoiler alert, the game, every time you take a portal back into the past, you're teleported to the incident that caused everything to go to shit. To put it bluntly. You know what? Just because you don't see that you have a problem does not mean you don't have a problem. They say accepting that fact is the first step. Alright. Again, late 90s, early 2000s JRPG. We gotta go rescue the damsel in distress. And now we fight the classic enemies. The slimes. Now, this is something very important about Dragon Quest games. You'll notice I hit attack once, and all three attacked. All three of my characters. That is because, by default, the game has the normal plan on. What this means is it's going to control your other two characters for you and do what it thinks is the best action. My advice is whenever you play a Dragon Quest game, they're not used to seeing monsters, but Again, that's another bit of world building. They don't even know what the hell monsters are because they don't exist in that time period. They don't exist on that island. They've heard about them, in like the sea, but that's it. Come on. So, first things first, their classes. Right now, you don't have any classes like we went over last time. Classes are unlocked about a third of the way into the game. Mr. Bitey is your well-rounder. He will be the first one to get a heal spell. And he's not bad at anything, but not amazing at anything. Kiefer is your tank and your physical DPS guy. He also learns Fire Slash really early, which is again, fire-based move, obviously. And as a skill, it doesn't cost any MP, which is good because he doesn't get any. And then Maribel is your classic mage. The first part of the game, she frankly sucks. She's going to do less damage. Her spells are going to be good, but she doesn't have the mana to sustain them long term. And then when we get to our second town, I will go over. You'll see Mr. Bitey's has the pole and a stick that he originally started with. We're going to give that to Kiefer, because that will increase his attack. So even with an inferior weapon, his attack is still one higher than Mr. Bitey's. Maribel is going to get armed last. I'll go over that more a little bit once we get to the first item shop. But once we get here, this random warrior, and of course Kiefer is trying to be diplomatic. We are his minions. And this is Matilda. She is the first character you meet here in what you'll come to know as Rexwood. She's out here picking weeds as an offering for the graves. There's no flowers because there's no sun. The sky has been darkened. And of course, Maribel is very polite to everyone who isn't us. Classic JRPG trope. Just classic. Gotta love it. And she's doing that specifically to calm the spirits of the dead. At 2 gravestones. That will definitely not be important later. Not even a little bit. That was weird for her to say. What do you mean we can't return home? Now, here's what I'd bring up. Oh, they'll go great. Seeds don't need sun. That's a myth. That's sold to you by Big Solar. So, village will be immediately to the east. And it's right there within sight. Now, you'll notice even though she joined our party, you can't see her in the party screen down there. She is a temporary character. Temporary characters, when you fight with them, don't have HP, don't have mana, they're infrequently targeted, and you can't control them. But they are a source of free damage and free healing, and when they do get hit, well, that's damage that didn't go on your characters that actually matter. So it's typically they're used as a way to show upcoming mechanics. But we get here, hey, wait a minute. Where'd Matilda go? She left. Didn't say a word. So much for that guide. You know, he's right. This village is a little insufferable looking. So let's talk to somebody. You know, it's all over. This cheerful farm of mine is ruined. It is a hole in the ground and a rug. Who could have done such a terrible thing? He did. Well, that's weird. And if you look, there really aren't, I say really aren't, there are no women and children. So, home of the legendary hero Rex, who is gone. That guy is just a ray of sunshine. So we're not going to talk to everybody. I do want to point out, as you're playing the game, always find the priest, because that is how you save. Oracle is used to show you how close you are to leveling. So 13, 18, 23. Revive is exactly what it sounds like. Detox gets rid of poison. Uncurse gets rid of curse. So we're going to go ahead and save real quick. Yes. We are still playing. I'm not quitting. But oh yeah, you don't need them at all. Yes, that's actually something I like as well. It's not quite as, how do I put it? It's not quite as severe as older Dragon Quest games. For instance, you start out with almost 30 hit points. Older games, you started out with like 10. But the numbers are still very low. And again, I'm going off memory here. It's been like 20 years since I played the game. But you never really reach that I do 9,999 damage that Final Fantasy became famous for. So once you get in here, again, always rotate the camera. You see you can get into the inn in the side. And you can go upstairs. God damn it. Always break everything, because the inn costs 9 gold to stay at. That cloth, if we take it to a weapon and armor shop, which in this village is here. Alright, that is not a thing. So we found 12 gold. Oops. Hey, who's Hank? Right, exactly. Big numbers and small numbers both tell a story. when someone walks around with 9 billion HP, we naturally assume that they're this huge, big, buff, impenetrable, whatever, even if everybody does 8 million in damage. But by having small numbers, it makes you watch each hit point. So he just accidentally told us who we need to talk to. Now let's go to sell. That cloth that we just got is 15 gold. So by robbing the innkeeper, we profit. We basically just got one, almost 2 free nights at the inn if needed. Now let's go to buy. He has some basic items. You'll notice the steep jump in price. You'll also notice, as you go to different items, Maribel is the most obvious one. Maribel is very much the classic mage. She can equip a lot until you change her class. A lot of gear here she just can't use. Now the second town, Englo, has gear that only she can use, but it's more expensive. Here we're predominantly going to focus on equipping Kiefer and the hero, and then giving their hand-me-downs to Maribel. Hand-me-downs in old school JRPGs are very important. You focus on equipping your main character, and then once you switch out his gear, give it to the next character, and then give it to the next character until no one can wear it, and then you sell it. So we are going to... Kiefer and Mr. Bites can both equip the Copper Blade. That's 220 gold each. I am a firm believer in weapons first, then armor. So we're going to try to save 220 gold. That will allow us to skip the club entirely, equip Mr. Bitey, and then give his pole to Kiefer, which will raise his attack up to 20, which is almost as good as Mr. Bitey with the pole, or with the sword. Or is as good. It's also it's a good idea, rather than having one beast attacker, to have 2 solid attackers. The game likes... How do I put this? If an enemy has... Right, if you can kill it fast enough, you don't need armor. And what's the point if I have 2 people that can do 100% damage and take out 2 enemies? What's the difference between that or having one guy that can do 300% damage to one enemy, but 2 people that can only do like 80% damage to enemies? You're killing things slower. So by focusing on equipping Mr. Bitey's first and giving Kiefer the hand-me-downs, we're actually being a little more efficient. Hank is hiding. This is a house in the middle of the woods. That seems like a hidey place. And lo, we see a warrior in the bed. Oh, hey, random people I've never seen before. You seem safe. Come on inside, where my injured father is dying. I mean, the street was destroyed, so... Alright. One of the classic quotes, video gaming, judging by your mismatched weapon or armor and massive weapons, you appear to be adventurers. Which is funny because you're in clothes and carrying sticks and poles. Have you come across a woman by the name of Matilda? Yes, we did. She protects this village from monsters, but we haven't seen her recently. That's right, this is like a 9-year-old kid wondering about the cowards that call themselves men. No, he wouldn't, but it's the purpose, or it's the point. Rob, 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 you have nothing worth the damn. Yes, apparently sleeping doesn't just heal all wounds. Um, who'da thunk it? All right. So very simple quest. Again, it's our first quest. We have to go get a green color stone from the color stone mine. Very simple, very easy. This is very much the first zone. This is the tutorial zone. And this is fine. The problem with the game is not that this is easy. It's the fact that it took us 2.5 hours to get here. It very much feels like, if y'all have played it, Fallout 3, where your character literally starts as a baby. So we can talk to some of these. That's because the trees are not sentient. We have our quest. We have our shopping list. The Colorstone Mine is to the south. And as you can see, there's a tower in the upper east. That will be our next spot to go to. Rob, 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 steal all the stuff. It's okay, because we're the hero. Alright, there's another sleeping warrior. Warns us against going into the mine. But we are protagonists. So, in here we're going to be introduced to random encounters. Let's go up here first. Randomly we run into Matilda. She's surprised to see you here. And then she leaves. Everybody is so poetic. Yay, dark times. Oh, so this is our first battle. Whenever you play a Dragon Quest game, always go to plan. Go to all, set it to manual. There are a couple different options. You know, charge is just fucking go kill. No fight is what it sounds like. Heal, focus on healing, no magic, etc. Put it on manual. Now you'll notice I can control everybody. At level 1, it doesn't matter. However, at higher levels, even starting as soon as level 2, it will. So, good habit to get into. Clearly, this is the direction we are supposed to go, so as any good player of a Japanese RPG knows, you immediately go this way. A big part of games like this is monster identification and knowing what to kill when. One of the Lipsy's special abilities is a mana drain. That's what that lured. The eggplant did it, but things like lure dance and that, you don't really have to worry. Ah, so that's also a turn removal. Sorry, you don't get to act this turn. At this low level, it's no big deal. It's better to just target the best damage dealers. Killing those 2 mobs got me 5 XP, 7 gold. Right. So we went this way, and there is nothing. Good day, sir. But always good to verify. Critical hit did 4 damage. Massive hits. Now, critical hits work a little differently in this game. Rather than just doing double damage, they will instead ignore defense. So we're fighting slimes now, but there's a monster later that's the metal slime enemy. It was a sign. We can go back and read it, absolutely. Metal slimes have like 4 HP. They have extremely low HP. But they have max defense. And they have max defense. That's their whole thing. And they have really good evasion. If you crit, you ignore all that defense and kill them usually in 1 hit. Metal slimes only stay in combat a turn or 2, and then they flee. They're important because they give an absolute asinine amount of XP compared to other mobs of that level. The first time you see a metal slime, if you kill it, you're more than likely going to go up at least 1, maybe 2 levels from that one enemy alone. So metal slime farming is very much a way to power level in these games. And now we have our first level up. Mr. Bites. HP rose by 3. MP rose by 3. Stats went up by 1 and 0. Level 2, you just get some stat increases. Level 3 is when you get your first abilities. So we know the eggplanton is a bigger threat, so we're going to target him first. One of the other things they do, so for those of you who have been following the Shattered World, if you were there for Jace talking about the adversary files, you'll notice we talked about echelons of monsters where you could basically power up an enemy and have the same enemy, but now all of a sudden it's a different or more unique threat. Dragon Quest VII does something similar. Slimes, for example, are the level 1 whatever enemy. Later, you'll fight she slimes, which are a stronger version. But again, no big deal. Later, you'll run into a group of she slimes that will have a new ability, and they'll start summoning other slimes. Okay, no big deal, they're still weak, right? You just AoE them down and burn them out. If you aren't able to do that quick enough, they will actually merge and basically Voltron into one giant slime. And it's the same enemy, but a new trick. And now Kiefer levels up. And we did just get a seed. So let's go ahead and give that seed to Mr. Bites. Alright, Aura. We are dog sitting my girlfriend's brother's dog, a German Shepherd, and she is very affectionate, and she sheds worse than my cats. But no one else has any seeds, so we are going to move on. Do, 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 do. So I'm going to be letting people... Ooh. So you'll notice Maribel's HP is rather low. The problem is, as a mage, she has naturally low HP. So it's very much a risk and reward game. Because the basic healing item that I have heals 30 HP. So I kind of want her to level up first, so she'll have just those few more HP, so that I'm not losing quite as much to overheal when I heal her. And there's Maribel. And you'll notice we got 10 XP that time. That's a lot. After one battle, from level 1 to level 2, Mr. Bitey's only needed like 13 to level, and that was 10 in one shot. Her HP rose by 2, her MP rose by 5. Now, MP does not fill until you go take a rest. But... so for right now, it won't really matter. That being said... ah, crap. I meant give to Maribel. And then Maribel is going to eat the snack. So... I forgot about the Emmet snacks. They heal 10 HP. The herbs heal 30. Aw, yeah, I know. You're so sad. That what you want? Oh. And Maribel got goosebumps from the licking. Yes, it really... ah, get out from under there. Goddamn dog. Alright. Alright. So let's check our gold. We're up to 155, which is solid. We want to hit that 220. And then more importantly, we know a stay at the inn is 9 gold, so we want to actually hit 230 before we head back home for the first time, or as close to it as physically possible. And you'll notice we don't even get a chance to give Mr. Bitey's a order because he fell prey to the lure dance and he is shuddering. And Maribel is about to die. So let's see if we can kill them before she dies. Okay. And good timing. Mr. Bites has leveled. So his strength, his agility, his intelligence, his guard, and his appearance went up. He now learned heal because he learned a new skill, or maybe it's just this level. He actually gets MP. I forgot about that. So he can now heal. His heal heals for 30 points. So let's go ahead and heal Maribel back to full. So, to show you for later in the mine, that is what the sign meant. Okay, the combat there was coincidental, yeah. Yeah, she really is a mage. But when you push two gemstones of the same color together, they will break. This mine is basically a bunch of puzzles. It's a maze to get to the bottom, breaking a path. And there's Kiefer. You'll notice he did not get any MP. He is again that kind of tanky soldier hybrid. He does not get MP. You'll also notice, especially starting around level 5 or 6, his stats will start to go up higher than the rest of the group. And that's basically clue number 1 that Kiefer isn't going to be part of the party for a while. Now, say you make a mistake. We broke those, and now we can't get through. You can always go up the stairs, come back, and it'll reset. But for now, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. And move on. We are at 175 gold. Let's keep exploring. Nope. Not even with his superior princely education. So we won't get there tonight. But I do want to point out, as you look here, you'll see Lipsy 3, Eggplant, and 1. Sometimes that'll say something like Lipsy 2, Lipsy 1, Eggplant, and 1. What that is grouping, obviously. But there are certain items, certain weapons, that will attack groups. They'll do reduced damage to only one target, but they'll hit everything in a group. And then there's other weapons that will do absolutely shit damage, but it'll do it to everything regardless of the group it's in. So knowing party composition and knowing enemy composition is important. You can keep backup weapons in your character's bags, but changing them, if I recall correctly, takes a turn. So you have to decide if it's worth it. Do 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 do. And with her first spell, Maribel, you can now see her MP, and she learned Blaze, which is a single target fireball. So we are going to heal Kiefer, not fireball him. And keep on pressing. How is everybody else? Mr. Bites is still fine for now. Maribel is Maribel fine. Right. Simple and easy. Now, we could just push that, but let's go ahead and look first at what we're dealing with. So, again, this one's pretty easy, but always take that second to check. So there is the green color stone. Let me go ahead and look real quick. There are no hidden chests up here. There are more enemies. He did not. No, he did not. Okay. So tell you what. Next round of combat, since we're going to be healing soon anyway, we will not do what I planned to do, because Maribel was getting licked. So, fight, fight. Let's go ahead and have Maribel cast Blaze. We're used to her doing 1 point of damage. That was 14. So she can do awesome damage. But again, she only has 10 hit points. 5 casts of that. And unlike later Dragon Quest games, there's not a lot of ways to regain mana. It's very much a resource that you have to dole out at appropriate times. And now here comes the warrior Matilda. She was worried about us, even though she let us. Oh, alright. There you go. Yes, you want lovin', and my cats are petrified of you. But they're tasty, boss. Yeah, getting your hair all over the place. Alright. So Matilda's going to put her hands on the green color stone and focus her concentration. She is apparently a fighter that knows concentration. And she gives us the green orb. Now, the difficulty here... Oh, she wants us to have something. The wood doll. Her brother gave her that when she was just a little girl. It's a good luck charm, but I want you, random adventurers, to have it. If you don't want it, throw it away. You can actually sell it if you want. It gives you like 1 or 2 gold. But keep it for obvious reasons. Oh, shit. Okay, so. We are going to go ahead and heal Maribel, because she could die any second. And we will go ahead and blaze the shit out of them. So again, when she casts spells, she can one-shot things. The problem is she has, especially at this stage of the game, limited mana. Oh, come on. You have like 1 hit point left. 1 hit point. Okay. And we're at 213, so by the time we get back, we should be able to afford our first sword. At this station... At this stage in the game, always remember that you need to account for not just getting to the final boss of the stage, but getting out. So, for instance, Mr. Bitey has no real mana left. So he can't heal himself anymore with his heal spell. So any healing that we do will have to come from items. Now we've been saving up, which is good, but... In fact, let's go ahead. When you're healing, if you have any in the bag, use those first. The reason being is, in combat, each individual character only has access to the items in their individual bag. No one in combat has access to what's in the bag. So, because we successfully completed this puzzle, you'll notice all the color stones are gone. Our goal now is to just beat tracks and try to get out of here with as minimum fights as possible. Did he? No, he has not. It must be level 4 or 5 that he unlocks that. Let's go ahead and use one more blaze. So, in the early game, physical damage is everything. Your two... Yes. That was how the original line of Dragon Warriors did it. It's very old school. I like it. And we actually incorporated a similar idea, not the exact same, but a similar idea in the Shattered World. It's assumed, now you still have to buy one, but it's assumed that all characters will have access to a nearby safe house or a car or something with a trunk, right? So you can keep a lot of your stuff there, but if you don't physically have it on your person, you can't pull it out and equip it. So when you're out of combat, when there's no monsters around, hey, I'm going to run back to my car real quick and get that rocket launcher we left in the passenger seat. Sure, you can do that. Pro tip, don't leave rocket launchers in the passenger seat. That's a bad idea. You will get robbed. But you can do that. It's a similar principle. In combat, when things are going down, when things are hectic, you only have access to what's on your person. You can't tell the monster, hey, stop swinging at me, I need to run to get my car to get the one item I have that can beat you. It's not going to work like that. But even older games like this do have things that you can take inspiration from. When you're writing, it's an old truism that there are no original stories, just original ways of telling them. That's very true. Think of any story you've ever read. It's been told 1,000 different ways, 1,000 different times. It's how you tell it that makes it new and unique. Kiefer's level 4. HP went up. Again, he's doing that 1s and 2s for now. do 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 do. Nice, easy, little boring, but that's cool. It gives us time to chat and talk. Do 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 do. Now we could be fleeing here if we were in dire straits, but we need the gold. So yes, a good example is actually Chrono Cross, where all of the enemies you can see on screen. They are not random at all. You can pick and choose, and then grinding in that game is pretty actively discouraged. Excuse me. So they actually use what we would later know as a milestone level up system, where every time you defeat major bosses, you get a star, and then the first couple of fights after a star, your stats will go up. But your leveling up is limited very sharply by how many stars you have. Alright, so we are back in town. We can absolutely go heal the dad, but first, I'm going to take a nap because, in the immortal words of my generation, fuck them kids. Ah. And the game said, no, 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 good sir. Fuck you. So, once you get the color stone, a switch is activated, internal game switch, and it won't actually let you sleep until you complete that. So instead, 264. Yeah, it's not a passive resistance, dude. So we're going to go ahead and buy our sword. We're going to give it to Mr. Bites, the hero. Yes, we want to equip it. We can't afford anything else, so we're going to back out. We are then going to give the pole to Kiefer, and you'll notice his attack goes up to 21, which is almost as high as Mr. Bites' 23 with the superior weapon. And then we are going to give his stick to Maribel, because 7 is technically better than 5. She still isn't going to be doing shit for physical damage, but we know where we need to go. Yes, we ran into her. That's not exactly what happened. But he is a fanboy, so I respect that. I get it. Alright, we heard the healing music sound, so that means he's healed. Villagers are cowards. Ah, the story of Matilda from the fanboy's point of view. Tried to follow my dad. I couldn't. I found him with his ass kicked. Matilda, shadowy figure over him. It was Matilda. She had saved him, carried him back home. And he paid for a room at the inn, so we don't, this first time, we don't need to actually pay to heal. And Kiefer's already said goodnight. Making fun of the fact that the conversationalist is a mute. Now we have a dream. If we all work together, the monsters aren't so scary. That is a beautiful sentiment. Unfortunately, as you can see, this is the brother giving a doll. Be good while I'm gone, Matilda. So that was Rex, the legendary hero of the village, who, as we know, died because the villagers did not come to back him up. Matilda was his little sister. And that explains a little bit on why she's so cold. But from here, hey, he's up and moving. My father's injuries have been healed. That is what the heal stone was supposed to do. He has not conquered death itself. If he died, the priest could just res him for like 30 gold. Ow. Alright, that's a little, morbid. Alright, Hank has joined our party. And again, he is a temporary character, so we're not able to equip him or steal his armor or anything like that. And then he tells us where the tower is, even though we've already seen it. Do. So, Sap is a good ability. Maribel actually gets it in a level, I believe. As you saw, it lowers defense. Early game, when you get to a boss, rather than Blaze, that's going to be her first couple of turns. Because the overall damage is going to be better, basically buffing Kiefer and the hero's physical damage than it is for her to just set shit on fire. free 20 gold. Speed running across the universe. Another random encounter, because this shit really sucks. Anyway. So, you'll see there, Hank is just watching. They will do that from time to time. And it's a way to make sure that the guest character isn't just carrying you through the area. They are good help, but not something to rely on. Okay, nothing there. We can see the golem there. That's clearly where we have to go next. Okay, just verifying. There is nothing behind the tower, nothing on the sides of the tower. Cool. So, let's go up. And I forgot to save at the village. So, we're going to hope that we can kill this shit out of this golem. Fight. Nope, he doesn't get his ability till level 5. Boop. So yeah, notice how he did 14 damage to Maribel. The race is on. Help. All right. All right, so you see there he'd been hitting me for 11 and 15, and he hit Hank for 1. So on the rare occasions when he attacks the, or when the temp companion gets hit, it's nice. And now Maribel is out of MP. Alright, let's take a risk. Let's see if he heals me. He does. Good. Alright, Golem is defeated. So we're going to immediately level up. But then we're going to go back and heal. And save. So she learned Sap. And we got a Wind Shard. Opponents of this caliber are mere nuisances. Fuck you. We don't like show-offs here, Hank. So we are at 146. Do I have anything I feel comfortable selling? No. Well, the cloth armor. And then this ancient key. For now, we can put it in the bag. Same with the wind shard. And same with the wooden doll. Because we're not going to need them right now. So first things first, I want to heal. Alright, and he's not going to charge Hank, so Hank is good for something. Do, 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 do. God damn it. Whole reason I came back here was to save. So. Yay, Hank's healed. Let's check how close I am to leveling. Mr. Bitey's is 81. Kiefer is 7. Maribel's 54. So they're all going to level up pretty quickly. Yes, let's continue adventuring. Alright. Now these guys are nuisances. But I think they will give 7 XP. Oh, fuck you. Alright. Kiefer is 1 XP away from leveling. Ain't that how it goes? Do. There we go. And Fire Slash. Alright, Fire Shard. And a bronze dagger. So, the bronze knife, bronze dagger. Maribel can equip. So that will give her some attack power. Not enough to be worth it. Again, she is not our physical damage dealer, but that will help. Unless the enemy you're fighting is strong or resistant to fire, there's no reason not to do Fire Slash with Kiefer. It only adds a point or two of damage, but it also converts it to fire damage. But again, especially at this level, a point or two is everything. And a leather shield. And some gold. So, Mr. Bitey's already has a leather shield. And Maribel can't equip it, because shields are overrated, apparently. So let's go ahead and equip that. Nothing there. I have seen the game hide shit in corners before, so if you get a little squirrely feeling, go ahead and check. Spin that camera. Alright. Alright, so, again, this is what I was talking about earlier with enemy identification. The earwingers can poison you. Poison in this version of the game does not go away at the end of battle. So while they will do less damage than some other mobs, they are very high up on the target list because you don't want to get poisoned. Alright, 19 XP, 20 gold. That's a hell of a chunk. We are now at 194. So we know we want the 220 for the copper sword, and then the leather armor, I believe, was 180. So another 360 for those two. We could go up there. Let's see if there's anything over here first. Nope. But we are starting to get a little bit more survivability. Do 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 do. And of course, Hank's still making us look like the amateurs we are, keeping us humble, which is good. Always got to be humble. Apparently. No, that's another both good and bad thing about the game. Again, and we can learn from the good and the bad. Leveling up. So, the stated purpose of the companions were to introduce new mechanics and to provide a little bit of story, right? A little bit of explanation on what's going on, a little bit of flavor. Hank basically is the party. You know, he's doing as much damage as all three of us combined. He can heal. He doesn't need us. We need him. That's never a good feeling to put your players in. Alright, so the cat mages, they're Maribel. Kill them as quickly as you can, hopefully before they cast Blaze. As you can see, sometimes they cast it right off. Other times they'll go 2-3 turns before casting. They tend to not have a lot of MP. I'm actually surprised that one was able to get off 2 casts. But 24 XP, again, that's a shitload in one chunk. Mr. Bites is now level 5. 21 gold. We are now at 235 gold. Fuck you. And 80 gold. So let's go ahead and give that seed to Mr. Bites. Nothing else. So we can absolutely afford our second so there's the boss. We are not going to fight him yet. We could, and we may even succeed. However, we want to gear up our guys a little bit better, especially considering the next area. Because the next area, we're going to see a substantial increase in difficulty and cost of leveling up stuff, or gearing up. So let's go ahead and start doing balls to the wall. Apparently Hank heard me. All right. Oh, wrong way. All right, Aura. I know. Escape! Quick way out of the tower. Always handy. So let's go ahead and abuse their generosity a little bit. Yes. Alright. Slice off those horrible monsters' limbs and beat them to death with them. As you can see, peaceful villagers. This is a very quiet, peaceful village. I don't think I can state that enough. One of the little ways they show passage of time, After our adventures in the mine, that took so long that now the innkeeper has, or the weapon seller has to take a sleep. So his buddy the bard is now going to be the merchant. It's a little thing, but it's nice. It's cool that they did that. So now we are going to buy the copper sword for Kiefer. We are going to equip him, which will unequip the pole. And we still have the clothes in there that we can sell, because we don't need clothes. Maribel has the stick. And we no longer need to give that pole to Maribel because she has the bronze knife. So that puts us at 183, which will allow leather armor. And we're going to give that to Mr. Bites. We can't afford anything else. But we can sell the cloth because Maribel's already wearing clothes and Kiefer is actually wearing traveler's clothes, which is slightly better. So we don't have anybody to hand those down to. Now that we've got that, we've healed, we've bought stuff, we've pillaged and ransacked our way across this poor godforsaken town. Alright, so he needs 182 to go up. Kiefer only needs 23, and Maribel needs 97. So, let's go ahead and save. We have 24 minutes before we end, so I think we are going to go to the enemy and convince him diplomatically of the error of his ways. Because I am a firm believer in diplomacy. Yes, we're going to continue. And let's get the hell out of here. Do 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 do. Enemies! Oh, wrong way. Alright, so now here we are. The final boss of the tower. We are good on HP. I am definitely not going to cheat and save state. Nobody saw that. There is no end to the cowardice of human beings. You came here deliberately knowing that our leader wasn't here, didn't you? Hey, that's interesting. Alright, this guy is gonna kick our ass himself. This guy with 4 legs. So, we're gonna sap. Maribel's gonna almost die. Alright, so you see that ability he had. That makes this fight a lot longer and slower than it has any right to be. I absolutely hate that ability because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make you think. It doesn't have any real way of interacting. It's just a shit ability. Now it's a solid ability. You know, it reduced the damage he took from 9, 10, whatever, to 1 and 2. That's an amazing ability strength-wise, but it doesn't do anything cool, it doesn't do anything flashy, and it just feels bad when he uses it. You want to be very careful using that ability. Stuff like that combined with Hank basically full resing you makes this feel like a tutorial fight, and it shouldn't. We already know that this is a baby fight for baby players. It shouldn't also feel like that. I should feel like I'm doing something cool. You know, I'm saving this damn town from a dark sky and stuff. Go ahead and heal, Hank. Thank you, Hank. Ah, and that's the other problem. I said it before. You can't rely on the temporary party members because they'll just randomly decide, fuck you, I'm not healing. So now I am in a very dangerous spot because he can one-shot 2 of my party members. Now, luckily, he attacked Kiefer, and he can potentially one-shot Kiefer next turn. Now, thankfully, he decided to heal himself. And he's dead. Right, I remember Chrono Cross did it. I couldn't remember if Chrono Trigger did or not. It's just been too long since I played. And 80 XP. That's enough for Kiefer to go up. And Maribel, I believe. Yep. So now we will have a short cut scene. Blast you, cunning apes. Das racist. Oh, hey, boss. Incoming wooden dialogue. And that was the fate of Matilda. She watched her brother die because the townspeople were cowards and didn't come help when they were supposed to. She got possessed by a monster and then turned into one. Which is kind of messed up. A little bit. And that's the problem. As long as she exists, as long as she's alive, this tower will remain. And now we come to what should be a boss fight, and instead is a good bit of environmental storytelling, but... Oh, Kiefer's almost dead. I should still heal. But I really don't need to, because... I will, but... You'll notice Matilda didn't attack. She's parrying, she's blocking. She's reducing the damage she takes. But she's not going to attack you. Yes. Yes, I love you. I love you. You are being petted. Which just makes this fight long and slow. You're still low level, so there's no real cool abilities. Yep, I know. We're leaving soon. So, how could we fix this battle? What could we do to make it preserve the I don't want to, like the environmental aspects of it, which are great. You know, she doesn't want to fight us, she wants to die. But she can't let herself. What do? Well, we could, right before the battle starts, have her waste a turn doing a group heal on you. That will help show the I don't mean you any harm, blah, blah, blah. After that, rather than having her just parry, have her do attacks that miss, or give her an aura that will start damaging your party in spite of the fact that she doesn't want to, further showing that she's not in control of her own actions. She's become something she can't fully control. Right? Little things like that. Give your party a chance to go all out if they want, because they have to. Randomly, you're just going to do 2 points of damage. Yep, I have no MP left from the previous battle. I'm just attacking and she's parrying and lowering damage. It makes what should be this cool climatic fight, even one with an unwilling enemy, just a slog. Yes. Yes, he just said he was. Take care, Time. See you next time. Thank you for stopping by. It's good seeing you again. Alright. So, we're not going to be playing for much longer ourselves. We've only got about 8 minutes left on the stream. Basically, I am going to run back to the village and save and quit. Hey, people are here. I gotta see how close. Mr. Bitey's 59, Kiefer 134, Maribel 241. So let's go ahead and save. No. And on that note, everybody, thank you. It was good to see you again. Our next Bitey's Breaks will be this upcoming Saturday, which is the 12th at 10 a.m. We will be playing for a little bit, and then after that, I will have an update for all of you. So, take care. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see y'all next time. Take care.